Gentlemen, welcome to the Village of Bartlett Board meeting for June 20, 2017. I call this meeting to order and ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Kammer?
Here.
Carbonaro?
Here.
Daney?
Here.
Cabrera?
Here.
Hopkins?
Here.
Ranky?
Here.
President Wallace.
Here. We've requested Pastor Andy Doyle from Christ Community Church to do our invocation this evening, and he's got his daughter with him. So it's a daddy-daughter night. Pastor Doyle, also immediately following the invocation, please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Father God, thank you so much for the hard-fought freedoms this country enjoys. I pray your favor upon this meeting. I pray your favor upon each person here and all of those who are committed to making the village of Bartlett a fine place to live. I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. We also have a guest in the audience. Tim Luzak from Troop 66 is with us. Tim, if you could lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, let us know what you're working on here.
I'm here to just sit and take notes for my communication badge to wear on the Eagle.
Fantastic. So if you could lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to consent agenda this evening, all items listed with an asterisk will be enacted in one motion. There'll be no separate discussion with those items. At this point, is there anything that any board member would like to add to the consent agenda?
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to add items E1, 2, and 3. If there is no...
Anybody have any issues or questions with that? Any issues with that?
1, 2, 3, E1.
Not if the board doesn't.
Anyone? All right.
I think we should leave E1 off.
Okay,
Okay.
so it'll just be
E2 and 3.
And Mr. President, I'd like to add item F1 to the consent agenda.
I guess I could add the D2, ignite the courage right-of-way request.
Hey guys, slow down here. I'm not writing this. Remember? I'm technologically challenged here.
Which one?
So E2 and 3.
F1.
F1.
F1 under
Next page.
license and ordinance. Right?
D2. That one. D2.
And Chairman Ranky, you said F1.
Yes.
Yeah, nobody has any questions or issues with those items? Ryan, you're okay with those?
What were the items again, please?
You've got the police and health, E2 and 3, added to the consent. Under public works, item F1. And under license and ordinance committee, item D2.
I have a question for council. The ordinance providing the assurances for the excess of $2,950,000.
That one
I
can't.
I didn't think so. Thank you.
Anything else? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to amend the consent agenda to include the following items: the minutes from the board and committee minutes from June 6, 2017, the bills list from June 20, 2017. We will be also including on the consent agenda under Finance and Golf Committee, item C3, Brewster Creek TIF payout request, general sub-account payout number 2, item C3 or C4, the prevailing wage ordinance, and item C. No, that's under Finance and Golf. We'll be adding item D2 under License and Ordinance, the Ignite the Courage right-of-way request. The consent will also include item D3, rescind the rescission of Platform 18 liquor license. It will include D4, 5, and 6, 4th of July fireworks display, 4th of July parade permit, and 4th of July Carnival license application. It will also include D7, Heritage Oaks tree removal. The consent, we'll be adding to the consent under Police and Health Committee, item E2, radio system design, build equipment and installation agreement. Also adding to the consent, item E3, earth retention system. We'll also be adding item F1, engineering services for Bartlett transmission mains. The consent will also include item F2, purchase of 2 large dump trucks, item F3, purchase of 1 small dump truck, and item F4, Americans with Disabilities Act transition plan.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Hopkins, seconded by trustee Daney. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Cabrera?
Yes.
Hopkins? Ranky?
Yes.
Camera?
Yes.
Carbonaro?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
That motion carries. Now I'll entertain a motion to approve the amended consent agenda.
So moved.
It's moved by trustee Cammer, seconded by trustee Hopkins. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes.
Ranky?
Yes.
Camera?
Yes.
Carbonaro?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Cabrera?
Yes.
That motion carries. Next item we have this evening is our treasurer's report.
Thank you. Yes, in your packets tonight is the treasurer's report through April. That is the last period of our fiscal year. It is unaudited, though, so that we haven't done our year-end adjusting entries yet. The final audit will be presented around November. Our auditors will be out in late July. Also included is our motor fuel tax. Again, for the month of March, received $75,544. That's just $2,300 below last year, but we're on track with the motor fuel to be about the same as last year on budget. Sales tax, $167,837. That's up $18,000 over last year. And we're projected to be about 5% higher than last year. So sales tax is continuing to do well this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. Any questions for Treasurer? Next item we have this evening is our President's Report. First item on the President's Report is the BAPS Welcome Proclamation. Some of you may know that the Supreme Leader of the BAPS, the previous one passed away last year, and there's a new Supreme Leader that is going to be coming into town. I don't believe anybody from BAPS is here. Is there? Maybe not. But I'll go ahead and read the proclamation. We'll also be going to present this, I believe, at BAPS on Sunday, to meet with him next Sunday, something like that. The 16th, yeah. He's coming in for like 2 weeks, so. A proclamation in celebration of His Holiness Mahant Swami Maharaj, visit to the BAPS Mandir in the village of Bartlett. Whereas the BAPS Mandir along Route 59 in Bartlett, Illinois, was the inspiration of spiritual leader Pramukh Swami Maharaj, who envisioned a supreme mandir that would serve as a place of worship and prayer for the many followers of Hinduism in the Chicago area. And whereas, since its opening in August of 2004, mandir has served as an important representation of the vast spiritual, educational, and social contributions that BAPS culture makes all over the world, and the BAPS community in Bartlett has become a great and valued part of our whole community. And whereas Bartlett was greatly saddened last year by the news that His Holiness Pramukh Swami Maharaj passed away, leaving many heavy hearts here in our village, and whereas the village has shared in many special events with our friends at the Mandir, including Diwali festivals, health fairs, and community walkathons, we now look forward with great pleasure to a new occasion for celebration, the upcoming visit in July of His Holiness Mahant Swami Maharaj. And whereas this most significant event for members of Hindu and South Asian communities in Illinois, the visit from the spiritual leader of BAPS, who will bring you renewed inspiration, devotion, and spiritual wisdom through his personal example, and will also will offer all Bartlett residents a wonderful opportunity to learn more about Hinduism and the Indian culture. Now, therefore, I, Kevin Wallace, President of the Village of Bartlett, Cook, DuPage, and Kane Counties, do hereby proclaim July 8th to July 17th a week of warm welcome in the village to His Holiness Pramukh Swami Maharaj and all of the visitors to the Mandir, and I furthermore extend our hand of continued friendship to everyone in Bartlett's BAPS community, dated this 20th day of June 2017. Next item we have this evening under the President's report is the liquor license renewals. We have two renewals this meeting. We'll be renewing a Class A liquor license for JC Mexican Restaurant and a Class B liquor license for Gap Sparta Food Service, Inc., doing business as Savory Restaurant. So if there's, I'll be approving those liquor license. Next item we have is the Ignite Courage Class D liquor license request. The Ignite Courage, formerly Pink Heels, has submitted an application for the Class D liquor license for the 2017 Ignite the Courage event for August 12, 2017 at Bartlett Park. The Class D license allows the sale of alcoholic liquor for consumption on the licensed residence for a special event. The appropriate certificate of insurance has been submitted and reviewed by the village attorney, and I intend to issue that license, and I'll entertain a motion to approve it.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Kammer, seconded by Trustee Daney. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Ranky?
Yes.
Hammer?
Yes.
Carbonaro?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Cabrera?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Yes.
That motion carries. That's it for the President's report. Does any board members have any questions at this time? Hearing none, we'll move on to the town hall portion of the meeting. If anyone would like to address the board, please step up to the podium. Please keep your comments, state your name and address for the record, and please keep your comments to 3 minutes.
Good evening, Randy Ramey, 935 Glen Lake Drive, Carroll Stream, Illinois, 60188. Thank you, Mr. President and members of the board. And if I may at first, I was participant in the recent BAPS walkathon hosted by the Village of Bartlett and Bartlett Park District. They once again had roughly 900 to 1,000 people for the walkathon, and we would certainly thank the Bartlett Police Department for helping out during the day and keeping everything in order, and of course the village for their participation and help. So again, thank you for that. I have been in front of the board before on various occasions talking about the benefits of township government. I come to you tonight as a recently elected Wayne Township Supervisor. I have worked with many of you, if not all of you, over the years in various stations of my life, and I wanted to come here tonight and again offer you our help in anything and work with the village on any items that deem necessary between the township and the village. We have had great relationships in the past and want to continue that relationship. Bartlett is in the part of 3 townships, but most of Bartlett is in Wayne Township. So we want to make sure that we have a great working relationship and do what is beneficial to both. The township has 3 items that they have to do statutorily, the assessor's office, general assistance, and the highway department. But we offer many things for all the residents throughout the township. The seniors department, where we have over 700 members and growing. The general assistance, which helps low-income families with food, clothing, and direction and other financial help. We're serving 200 to 300 people a month in that effort. And our area youth services program, where we help the at-risk youth throughout the township with programs, mentorships, and just a place for them to be able to come and speak if they have issues with school, family, whatnot. There's quite a few kids that come through our doors that need help, and we're there to help them with that. And of course, our veterans programs that we offer veterans with assistance in housing, again with food and direction in any programs through the state. So again, I gave you all my card. If you have any questions, any concerns, or you need any help with anything relating to our governments working together, I am here to be that open door, as it were. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor, and congratulations.
Good evening, Mr. President and trustees. My name is George Koziol, K-O-Z-I-O-L, and I reside at 654 Hazelnut Court in the subdivision of Walnut Hills, and that's the one reason why I'm here tonight. I walk the neighborhood quite regularly, and it's nice to hear the comments that were made by my neighbors about the work that was done on our streets. Some people might say this is a job that was expected, but we have to say thank you. Nice, quiet streets. The potholes are gone. Neighborhood looks good. And a thank you goes to the village, Public Works, and to the company that did the work. It was done well, very, very neat and very clean. Thank you. And a second point tonight is will be discussed at the committee of the whole, the consolidation of the ZBA and the Plan Commission. I have certain concerns with this. I think this is an attempt to bring together two rather large boards, and I find it difficult to figure out who stays and who goes to get this down to a reasonable size. I've been on the ZBA for a number of years, and I'm firmly convinced that it could work better as long as it was staffed properly. That's probably been the biggest problem over the years. I'm not sure that bringing these two groups together is the proper solution. I'm also concerned as what sort of a message this says to a number of people that have been on these two boards for many, many years. It kind of hurts to think that somebody's going to have to go to get the board down to a reasonable size. What's wrong with keeping it as it is? Again, I would vote, if I had a say, I would say don't merge the two groups. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Koziol.
Jim Lemberg, 807 Redwood. I'm here to speak about the consolidation you have for the Zoning Board and the Plan Commission. I'm a member of the Plan Commission for 38 years, and it seems to be working pretty fine the way we're doing it, and to have it combined, you're going to be losing a lot of talent. Members on the board have 20, 25 years, and half the members are not going to be on your new committee if you design one like that, because you're going to lose about 80 years worth of experience. And I think it's going to help the village a lot if you just keep it the way it is. And it doesn't seem to be losing anything because the ZBA is on 1 week and the next week is a Plan Commission. So we're not really losing any time getting petitioners to get through the village. So I'm just here to say that the members on the Plan Commission are dedicated. They all have their own personal experience, and they all would like to remain on the commission. Thank you.
Thank you.
Worden, 431 South Main Street, Bartlett, 60103. I also have been on the zoning board for 38 years. When I was first appointed back in 1979, it was the Planning and Zoning Commission before that, and there was something with the change in state law where they had to split them, and it became the Zoning Board of Appeals and the Plan Commission. I don't have a strong opinion one way or another, but there has been a great staffing problem on the zoning board probably for the last 20 years, with people being lax in attendance, and then there were times when we just didn't even have a quorum because not enough people were showing up. And when we're shorthanded, it makes it very difficult, and it's very embarrassing to the commissioners when we have to face an audience out there and tell them we're sorry, we can't conduct the hearing. Or possibly if we only have 5 members and then it's a 3-2 vote, because then it's nothing more than a roll call vote, because we need to have 4 to approve something. So I don't know, I guess I have to trust your wisdom as to what is the best thing, but definitely I think you need to do something to make sure that we have better attendance. There was a time, really until the terrorist attack of 9/11 back several years ago, when we met almost all the time, all year round, except around the 4th of July or New Year's. And over the last few years, we haven't had nearly so many items, but still, you need to have dedicated people. And whatever the answer is to having the dedicated people, whether it's consolidating or keeping them separate, I have to trust your wisdom and hope that something good will come from this. So that's all I have to say. I'm still interested in staying on, whether it's 2 commissions or 1 commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reardon.
Hi, my name is David Besania. I'm from Town Liquor across the street. And I'd like to thank everybody for supporting to develop the town center. And we hope continued support from the village to make it more development and more tenant. Only thing my concern is, I hear that O'Hare Pub is applying for the packaged liquor license. We already have a packaged liquor license. So doing that more people in the same building couple, it doesn't make sense. But I just would like to attention you. Plus, second thing, I had in the lease too, exclusive for the packaged liquor license. So before going ahead, I just let you know that this is the kind of things. Anyway, thanks again, and I will expect your support from all the way.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else like to address the board at this time? Hearing none, we'll move on to the standing committee reports this evening. First standing committee report is under Planning and Zoning Committee, Chairman Hopkins.
Thank you, President Wallace. We have one item on our agenda. It's A1, the Alden Estates preliminary final PUD. The petitioner's requesting a final preliminary and final PUD plan for the Alden Estates. The Plan Commission reviewed this at their May 11th meeting and conducted a public hearing. It also was at our committee of the whole meeting at our last meeting. And that being said, I will move to approve ordinance 2017-77, an ordinance approving the preliminary and final PUD plan and granting a 1-year extension for construction to commence on the Lot 2 of the Artist Seniors Living subdivision for Alden Estates of Bartlett.
Second.
It's moved by trustee Hopkins, seconded by trustee Kammer. Is there any discussion? Besides the village attorney. Anyone? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Kammer?
Yes.
Carbonaro?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gabrenya?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Yes.
Ranky?
No.
That motion carries.
That's all we have under planning and zoning tonight.
Thank you, Chairman Hopkins. Next item we have this evening under standing committee reports is Building Committee Chairman Gabrenya.
There is no report this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Chairman Gabrenya. I will get that down before years. Standing committee report under Finance and Golf Committee Chairman Daney.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have a number of items on our agenda. The first one is an ordinance providing for the issuance of not to exceed $2,950,000 general obligation refunding bonds of the Village of Bartlett, DuPage, Cook, and Kane Counties, Illinois, for the purpose of refunding certain outstanding bonds of said village, providing for the levy and collection of a direct annual tax sufficient to pay the principal and interest of said bonds, and authorizing the sale of said bonds to the purchaser thereof. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to staff. Todd, if you'd be so kind.
Did you move? Did you make a motion?
Yeah, he made it.
Oh, yes.
We don't have a second.
You need a second.
Second.
Okay.
It's moved by trustee Daney, seconded by trustee Carbonaro. Is there any discussion?
With this bond reissuance, is there a penalty to pay it off early?
A penalty for
Yeah.
paying it off early? No, there isn't.
Okay, so at any time, we can make the full payment and not have any penalty?
You mean the new bonds?
The new bonds?
I don't believe there's I don't believe you can do a refunding early, call date early of these bonds, no.
So we can't pay them off early if we have the funds?
Right. I don't think you want to pay these bonds off early. I think the question that came up last time of using the fund balance to pay off the bonds, one of the issues that you need to consider when you want to pay off something early is what you're purchasing. And the reason for these bonds was we were paying for the construction of the fire station bonds, and we could have a better bond rating, get a better interest rate. And so we issued the bonds for the fire district. And I don't think that you want to use village fund balance to pay for the fire district's fire station. And that's one thing to consider in this. But no, you cannot. Usually, the 2007 bonds, they just came callable, and just now after 10 years is usually the call date. And since these are less than 10 years, you cannot refund them early.
Is that typical of municipalities when they sell bonds?
Yeah, typically when you issue bonds, 20-year bonds, you cannot call them early before 10 years. You can do what they call an advance refunding. You can issue more bonds, set them aside to pay off the bonds, but that would not work in this case.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Dowden.
We're essentially just doing this to improve our position on the interest rate.
Yes, we are.
Any other questions? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Carbonaro.
Yes.
Daney.
Yes.
Cabrera.
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Ranky.
Yes.
Hammer.
Yes.
That motion carries.
Mr. President, next item we have on the agenda is the Municipal Advisory Service Agreement. We all have received we have in our packet attached resolution an engagement agreement with Robert W. Bard and Company to perform financial advisory work for the 2007 GO bond refunding. The village's first agreement with Robert W. Baird and Company began in June 2014 and was for the issuance of the police station bonds. The terms include a fee of 0.165% of the principal amount issued with a minimum fee of $18,250. This is the same fee structure that was charged to the village for the 2016 general obligation bonds issue. With that, I move to approve Resolution 2017-78. 79. A resolution approving an advisory services agreement with Robert W. Baird to perform financial advisory work for the Village of Bartlett.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Daney, second by Trustee Hopkins. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Daney.
Yes.
Cabrera.
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Ranky.
Yes.
Cammer.
Yes.
Carbonaro.
Yes.
That motion carries.
All right, we have more. Continuing, we have Brewster Creek, the TIF payout request that was covered under consent. Item 4 was prevailing wage ordinance. Again, that was covered under consent. And lastly, Mr. President, we have the hole-in-one camera for Bartlett Hills. And I would like to, at this point in time, turn this over to...
Make the motion first.
Oh, I'm sorry. I move to approve Resolution 2017-80, right? A resolution approving the placement agreement between the Village of Bartlett and Digital Golf Technologies, LLC.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Daney, second by Trustee Carbonaro. Is there any discussion?
What's the purpose of this?
Phil, if you'd be so kind to shed a little light on this.
It is an opportunity for our
Are you excited about this, Phil?
I'm a little excited, but no. It's an opportunity for golfers to, they would pay us a $5 fee that we would certainly not require, but ask for if they were to make a hole-in-one on the 18th hole at Bartlett Hills. That customer would win $10,000, payable by digital technologies, and Justin is, I believe, here tonight. Also, the other, we look at it as a little, as a revenue producer for the golf course and also for food and beverage, because it is a running camera, because you have to have proof of the hole-in-one. We will have that streaming into the bar so patrons can come into the bar and watch themselves, in essence, play the 18th hole, and it's makes for good times and hopefully some additional beer sales.
Embarrassing times sometimes, too.
Yeah, probably. All in good fun, though.
Bill, how many times can they purchase that hole-in-one at the 18th hole? Could they stand there and purchase 100 of them?
No, not at all. They have to pay a greens fee, so they would have to physically go back and play another whole round of golf. So I guess potentially someone could do it twice in a day.
Right.
But other than that, no, it's not something where you can bring a stack of $5 bills and go all day until you win 10,000.
There you go.
Certainly not
That's
that.
what I was getting at.
Okay.
Any other questions? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Gabrenia?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Yes.
Ranky?
Yes.
Camera?
Yes.
Carbonaro?
Yes.
Daney?
Absolutely.
That motion carries. Thanks for looking for extra stuff to make a little extra money, Phil. I think it'll add a little spice, might even bring in some people that wouldn't normally play.
That would be great. We've nothing but positive feedback from some of the other golf courses that we've talked to, so we look forward to it. Thank you.
Mr. President, that concludes everything that we have this evening.
All right, thank you, Chairman Daney. We're going to have to shorten up these agendas because I'm going to have to switch pages and everything, and
Yeah, I know.
I'm used to this. Next standing committee report this evening is under License and Ordinance Committee, Chairman Kammerer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tonight, we still have one item left under our committee, and that is the Active Transport Alliance Kickstand Classic 2 Bike Race Agreement. All other things were considered under the consent agreement. With that, I'd make a motion to approve the resolution 2017-81, a resolution approving of the agreement between the Village of Bartlett and the Active Transport Alliance for Kickstand Classic 2 Bike Race.
Second.
It's moved by Trustee Kammerer, seconded by Trustee Ranky. Quiet over there.
What's his name?
Is there any discussion?
Question, one of the concerns that I had last meeting was a hard stop to the race time. Was
Right.
that incorporated into the agreement, the final agreement? And how, and will they be held to that 5-hour hard stop?
I discussed that with them, and they said they would. It's not in this agreement because the hard stop is more related to the Davis-Finney organization, and the Davis-Finney organization has a separate agreement that's with Active Trans. It's like a sub-agreement, and they're not party to this one. This is more for our agreement with Active Trans for the payment and the sharing of the costs for the police, fire, public works, the festival. So they would incorporate that hard stop into their agreement that Active Trans has with the Davis-Finney group. And they've agreed to do that.
So then, I apologize for my confusion, then we don't have any control over that second race then?
We have it in the sense that it's being run as part of the Kickstand Classic, and the Davis-Finney group is honoring the request that we made through as a gentleman's agreement or a handshake agreement, but we don't have a direct agreement with them. We have the agreement with Active Trans for the Kickstand Classic. Davis-Finney people are participants in the Kickstand.
And will the active transport event be complete by 12 o'clock as promised to the residents within the race
They will
area?
stick to our timeframes and our running of the event. They'll probably even end earlier from what they had indicated.
That's my biggest concern, is just ensuring that what we've promised to the residents is indeed.
Yeah, we won't go beyond the timeframes that we have.
And Jim, As I understand it, as I've read through this, I don't think anything changed financially for us. Is that correct?
The cost actually lowered a little bit, but in
Yeah.
terms of the extra cost sharing, it stayed the same.
Right.
They
Mr. Mayor.
are sticking to the 50/50 with us.
I also, you'll notice in the resolution, made it subject to the village attorney's approval and minor modifications, and that's in part because I've seen a draft of the agreement between the Davis-Finney Group and Active Trans, and I want to make sure that it's enacted with the same indemnification provisions and insurance to hold us harmless. So because they weren't a party to our agreement, I want to see that that's in place before I say it's okay. So I have seen the draft, but it was a chicken egg thing. They were waiting for us to say that this separate group was okay to add, and so that's one of the more recent developments.
And I'm sure that Davis-Finney agreement also incorporates the kickstand, or the active transportation agreement with the village, and prohibits them from doing anything that would cause kickstand to violate the agreement with the village.
Yes. Yeah, so that's what I want to confirm. I've seen the insurance provisions, the indemnification provisions, but it's those type of things that I want to see the full agreement to make sure the 2 points that you raise are covered.
I know at the committee meeting, we talked about possible safety concerns with the David-Finney riders and the regular riders in the Kickstand Classic. Did you guys have any discussion with them about any safety concerns? Because they'll probably be going at a faster clip than the rest of the riders.
I think that was as our team that works on this bike race with the police and Public Works and Fire, that safety was the number one concern. And, you know, as far as assurances, the lawyers worked out the indemnifications and the different insurance. They are having a separate lane, and I think it was in your packet where that lane is designated. The Davis-Finney group, as Jim, who came and explained it to, they ride in like little packs. So they're well aware of the safety necessary to make the corners turn and that. So it's a separate lane. They're going to protect those areas at the corners where they feel it's most crucial, and they're just will work with us. As the active trans people say, you know, this is a big lane to ride in, and there's plenty of room, and these people are usually used to riding in like half a sidewalk width, so there's plenty of room to maneuver. So I think I don't know if any of the police or the fire guys had any big issues, but we feel that they're going to run a safe race. They're cognizant of their surroundings and are willing to work with us and make it a successful event.
Thank you.
Did I miss the start times in here somewhere? Do we have them in here?
We're going to stick to the same start times as last year, depending on the sun, because it's a little later, but
What is the Davis-Finney? Is it right before our Speed Demon time? Do they go off right before?
that's what their intent is, to do that. They'll go out right before, and then they'll do the waves that we had last year. And then the Davis-Finney people will be riding, and as those, and
Scaring the heck out of the rest of us.
but the Davis-Finney people will not start like, if you remember last year, we started in those kind of, that throat going down. And
Kitty tunnel.
right. So the Davis-Finney people will not be timed until they're on the course moving. So that's how they're going to separate the starting.
How many are there, 200?
That's what they're shooting for.
Can we draft behind them? Is that?
You're getting a little too technical for me, but they will.
Adam said he could keep up with them, so.
They will draft amongst themselves. That's a key component of the way they do it, but.
I'm just, did we have to add any police or ambulance service for this higher tech ride? No? Okay. All right. I think it's going to be great. But again, I think I'll reinforce Trustee Gabrenya's concern, is we don't want anybody flying around there at 12:15. So let's just make sure that we have that cross indemnified, and would they know it's stop time, hopefully earlier than that. Because it takes us a while to clean it up now.
I think that their intention is to actually end about a half hour before we would end.
Were you guys mocking me when you dropped it $150 or something from the last? That's funny.
We need a roll call.
Any other questions or concerns? All right, and those of you in the audience that don't know what's going on, we have a bike race in October 1st this year, and it's open to the entire public. All ages, all abilities, 3 waves go off. And it's very, very fun. So with that, will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes.
Ranky?
Yes.
Cammer?
Yes?
Carbonaro?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gabrenya?
Yes.
That motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. President. That's all we have tonight under the Ordinance Committee.
Thank you, Chairman Cammer. Next item on our agenda this evening is under Police and Health Committee. Chairman Carbonaro.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have one item that was not covered on the consent agenda. This is for a resolution awarding certain trade contracts in connection with the new police facility. I move the passage of Resolution 2017-82, resolution awarding certain trade contracts in connection with the new police facility.
Second.
It's moved by Trustee Carbonaro, seconded by Trustee Hopkins. Is there any discussion?
This round of bid packages, it came in at $4,493,979. How much over or under is that from the engineer's estimates?
Good question.
Do you mind identifying yourself, sir, just for the record?
I'm Fred Moreno with Frederick Quinn Construction, and I'm one who put together the budget early on. So the bids came within budget at this point in time. We always carry a contingency up front for the job, and as the letter indicates, that we are still carrying a large contingency for the remaining bid package that we have to go through. So for the most part, we're within budget at this point in time.
Do we have dollar amounts?
For the
bid
entire
package?
project?
Yeah, this particular phase of the project.
Well, you mean like the $4,500,000?
Yeah, how much under are we?
Oh, they don't have that with me. For the most part, we're still, I don't have the exact number on me, to be honest with you.
Was there any particular trades that were over or under compared to the cost, the engineer's estimates?
There was differences between the other numbers, but the overall is under our budget at this point in time.
Yeah, but each individual trade, was there any one trade that was over from the engineer's estimates?
Sure, okay. Demolition was slightly over the engineer's budget for the demolition of the existing building that has to be tore out. Gas in place was under. Precast was right on, close. Going by memory on a lot of these. Masonry was slightly over, although this is a smaller piece of the large project. This is just doing some shaft walls for structural. The larger part of it is in the next phase. So it's kind of hard to tell exactly that piece, exactly what that portion was. Structural steel was under budget. Cold form framing, which is the trusses that for the roof, that was under budget for that item. We included, though, the carpentry pieces of that, the sheathing and so forth, which was part of another budget, but we carried it over into this one to get it done at the same time. So for the long and short, I guess that's within the budget. General trades was within budget. Waterproofing was slightly under. Elevators were about $1,000 over budget. Electrical was slightly over, but it entails a lot of work for ComEd and getting the services in and the pipelines in for ComEd services. Earthwork was pretty close to being on budget with that one. And site utilities was slightly over. They added some additional storm sewers that we needed to do and a couple of changes for sanitary lines. But overall, we were under budget on the package.
What had to change on the site work?
They added some storm lines along the east side of the building, and they added a secondary sanitary sewer line going out.
You know what that added to the budget?
I don't have that with me now.
I can put some questions together for staff, and they can reach out to you and get some of that information. So how many more rounds of bidding are there going to be?
Right now, we're set for a second round, which is going to be the remaining of the packages. Those drawings are being completed now, and we're looking to go out for a second round in August.
Is that going to pretty much entail all the trades that you have listed?
It'll actually entail other trades. Masonry, that one, yes, but all the steel's bid for the entire project right now. All the concrete's bid for the entire project, so those trades we will not have to go out for bid for. So it's the next round of trades.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions for this phase? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Renke?
Yes.
Cammer?
Yes.
Carbonaro?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Cabrera?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you for being here, gentlemen.
And that's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Chairman Carbonaro. Finally, our standing committee meetings this evening is Public Works Committee, Chairman Ranke.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have no items outstanding.
Thank you, Chairman Ranke. I'll move on to the new business. Does anybody have a new business at this time? Hearing none. Any questions?
I have a question. The Bartlett Global Arts Festival is taking place this weekend. Are we prepared to do anything, or is our presence required? Is there anything formal happening that we need to be aware of?
I believe the mayor is doing some welcoming comments for the event and might be coming back for a stint in one of the tents to do a conversation about the Taiwanese Sister City Exchange. They have not requested anything special from us, but of course they always love to see the board participating in the fair. So if you do have time to go and walk through over the weekend, I'm sure they would love that.
Okay, great.
It's a pretty, it's going to be a pretty good sized event, and they changed the name this year, but it was just called the Bartlett Arts Festival, I think.
It's global now.
For years, now it's global. So I'll be there at 11. It's really, I mean, it's worth a walkthrough because there's a lot of neat stuff over there. So
We met you up there last year. Do you want
Yeah.
someone to hang out with you?
yeah, sure.
And then we have the shovel,
Yep.
the
The groundbreaking for the police building at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Dress as business casual, so
Bring your own shovel.
no, shovels will be provided by FTC.
I will not be at that, however.
I think we're going to shop you in some way.
You won't be at that?
It's a wife thing.
Again, at what time?
Anything else?
Oh, that's all.
The groundbreaking's at 1. So, yeah, that's open to the public, probably right back here, right? Yeah.
And where's that at?
It's going to be right out in the front parking lot.
Thank you.
I have one comment to make.
And Mike informs me that he's conducting the historic walk starting at 10 o'clock for the festival on Saturday.
Oh, nice. Historic walk, good.
I want to thank staff. I don't know how it came up, but the thing you guys did today by the Bartlett Depot, Safety Town or Tammy, what's it called?
Tammytown, the safety
Tammytown?
program, we had about Pam tells me we had about 250 participants in that over the course of that Saturday morning. It was a great response. People moved in through the depot and through the Safety Town program.
Yeah.
It was one of the best attended programs we've had.
I appreciate everything staff did. I heard great reviews about it, so thank you.
Good. Anything else? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. We'll be moving directly into the committee of the whole meeting.
So moved. Second?
Moved by trustee Daney, seconded by trustee Cameron. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Cameron,
Yes.
Carbonaro,
Yes.
Daney,
Yes.
Cabrera,
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Ranky.
Yes.
We are adjourned.